Good morning, guys. Welcome to another 5 minutes of recovery. As always, my disclaimer, I'm not a professional speaker. I don't represent any specific 12-step fellowship. I'm just here sharing my experience, strength, and hope in the hopes that someone will see one of my videos that's struggling with addiction or alcoholism and seek help, because there is help and there is hope. As always, if a guy like me could get and stay sober on a daily basis, there's no reason why anybody that's watching these videos can't do the same. So in my last video, I started to talk about the steps, and I talked about the first 3 steps. And I hope that I gave some new people some clarity on the step process and how that works. And so today what I'd like to talk about is steps 4 and 5. And so step 4 is made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So a lot of times, and for me especially, for a lot of years, people used to talk about the 4th step and how scary it was, and that I'm never going to do that and I'm never going to tell anybody. So the 4th step talks about searching and fearless moral inventory. It doesn't talk about sharing that with anybody, although you'll do that in the 5th step. But the 4th step is just about writing. And so don't try to just read the book and do the 4th step by yourself. That's not what it's designed for. Get somebody like a sponsor. Of course, I'm always going to talk you need to get and use a sponsor. And so a sponsor is somebody that's going to guide you through the step process, that's been through the process, and that you come to learn and come to know and come to trust, right? So I was really blessed early on. I met a man that I didn't trust anybody. I just had serious trust issues, and especially wasn't going to trust a guy. And I met a guy, and he was really kind, so I built trust with him over time. And I didn't do a 4th step with him because I wasn't ready back then, and I didn't stay sober. But he gave me faith that I could trust people in the fellowship. And so moving forward, it made it easier for me to find the sponsor this time around. And so I got a sponsor, and we started to build a relationship, and he guided me through the step process. And in that process, I come to trust him and know that he had my best interest at heart. And so talking about the 4th step, or searching the fearless moral inventory, and it talks about it in the book, we have to take inventory from time to time. If you owned a store and you didn't take inventory, your store would probably go out of business, because you need to find what people are buying and replenish the stuff that they're buying. And then you also need to find the stuff that they're not buying, the stuff that isn't selling and isn't any good, and you need to get rid of that stuff. And so that's basically all a 4th step is. Searching and fearless means that we look within, right? And we're not going to be afraid to put it down on paper. And so the other thing that they made that it was real difficult is because so many people had shared so many, oh, it's so scary, I can't do that, da, 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 da. But the truth of the matter is in the book, the directions are, it's just 4 simple inventory sheets. That's it. And it's resentments, it's fears, it's sexual conduct, and it's harms done others. That's it. And you get a sponsor and you go through the book, and it gives you directions step by step what you need to do. So, and after I did it the first time completely thorough, I realized that it wasn't such a scary thing after all, that I was making up this big boogeyman in my head. And I come to find that I do that a lot with a lot of things in my life that turn out to be not as scary as I think that they are. And because I was so afraid of doing that, I stayed sick for a really long time, and I couldn't stay sober, and I kept relapsing and showing up back in jail. And so I did the 4th step, and then I sat down with my sponsor, and we went through the 5th step. And the 5th step is just like I said, we went over the inventory, and he showed me the parts that I played in a lot of the situations that I was resentful at, thinking that it was someone else. I've always played victim. It was their fault. If they didn't do this to me, I wouldn't have done this. But he brought to my attention that I had a part to play in that. And when I was able to see that, all of a sudden the resentments disappeared. When I was able to look at the harms that I'd done to other people, I was able to free myself. So I was able to see my defects. And so what the 4th step process and the 5th step process does is it lets me learn my disease and learn how my disease works for me, because everybody, the disease is the same, but it works differently in everybody. And so you need to learn your disease. And this is the perfect way to do it, through the 4th and the 5th step. And so And after sharing the 5th step, he's like, go take an hour and review the first 5 steps and see did we miss anything, and you could always call me and talk to me. And so like I did that. I took that hour and then I moved on with the process. And so what it did for me really is so I was blocking. I couldn't get a good connection with the God of my understanding. There were things that were in the way. And by doing a 4th and a 5th step, I was able to remove some of the things that were blocking me so I could have a better relationship with the God of my understanding. Because the truth of the matter is, and it talks about it in the book, is that the whole purpose of the book is to take you through the steps to get you a connection with a God of your own understanding that's going to remove the problem. And isn't that what we're trying to do? We're trying to remove the problem. So I hope that I said something on the 4th and the 5th step. And anybody that's new, got some questions, like reach out. And as always, please like, subscribe, share to my channel. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. The more people that see my videos, the more people that we can reach and help. And again, thanks a lot, you guys. And you have a wonderful day. And I will see you again next week.